Those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we get going, if I can ask you guys not to send me any text messages while I'm up here, because listen, when you're up here and all of a sudden you get a text, it's like hitting the wall, except it's a wall of text, really. And you know what that can do is it can really throw you off. So if you can hold off those questions and comments until the end of the event, I'd appreciate that. And if you do need to get a hold of us, really the best way is by joining our Discord. I think the address is like right down here. Yeah, I got it. Nailed it. It's right there. All right, cool. Awesome. Also, now, if I could ask you also to stay off the stage area here. This way nobody blocks this big display behind me. And this way I have a little bit of room to move around, do that whole hosting thing, right? And also, if I can ask you guys, you're going to notice at the very top of your menu wheel, you're going to notice there's a microphone icon. Now, when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear everything that happens in your environment. And I do mean everything. A lot of times people aren't even aware of how much is being transferred to their microphone. But don't worry, we've gone ahead and we've turned that to red. Now, this means if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? You feel free to answer them because we're not going to hear any of that. Likewise, if maybe you have a barking dog in the background, you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? But just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice there's a pink cheek smiley face in your menu wheel, and when you click on it, your emoji panel opens up in the air in front of you and offers you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. So if, for example, I share something up here really deep and powerful and meaningful, you feel it start building up, you can just let it out and let it flow just like that. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And they come out and we break into It's Quest Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed with the production value. You can throw up the applause that I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. If I ask you guys a yes or no question, you can say yes by smiling like this. You can say no by frowning like that. Maybe I say something funny. You want to show me you're laughing? You can use the silly faced emoji to do that. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. And we're going to use this as kind of a signal. All right. We're going to use this not to ask questions. We're going to use this as a way of getting my attention in the event that something goes horribly wrong. Like, for example, maybe the back of the stage catches on fire, because that's happened before. Our moderators had enough and they just kind of snapped and they set the stage on fire. And I didn't know when I was up here. I'm going to rely on you guys to let me know that kind of thing. Or maybe my voice goes choppy. Now, listen, if I only see one hand going up, I'm probably going to keep on going because it might be somebody messing around. Or, hey, it might just be happening to you and all you need to do is re-enter the space. But if I see five going at once, I know there's a problem that I need to address, right? So we'll take care of it that way. Now, you can press X to close the emoji panel, but it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this. Gives me feedback, lets me know how I'm doing, but more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, well, that means they found something funny, right? And you may not agree. You might be like, well, that's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here. And you can totally do that because this is VR, except you can't do it right here because we agreed you weren't standing on the stage like that. And that's part of our sacred bond, people. That's our pact. And if you're wondering what the shark's about, all right, let me just get to this early on, just get that out of the way. This is related to another event that we have called It's Shark Time. Next one we're doing is going to be Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You'll find us in the All tab the All section of the Events tab of your main menu. So check us out. We give away world building kits and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. All right, now let me get an idea of what kind of crowd we're dealing with here today. Let me see your hands up or some emojis if you're on an Oculus Quest right now. How many Quest users do we have in the audience? How many of you? Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Look, that's a good group. Good, nice size. All right. How many of you are new to Altspace? We have any new Altspace users? All right. We got a few. Couple. All right. Well, more than a couple. That's great. Welcome to Altspace. We've got a lot of cool stuff in here. I think you're really going to enjoy it. How many of you are new to VR? Like this whole thing is just really new and still a little bit weird. Any new VR users? All right, cool. Got a few. All right, that's nice. All right, cool. Well, that's what this event is all about. We're going to get Oculus Quest users, whether you're on a Quest or a Quest 2, we're going to show you how to get the most out of Altspace on your device. All right. And listen, when I first started out in Altspace, right? Let's see here. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Oh yeah, okay, good. All right, I just skipped ahead there. All right, when I first started out in Altspace, I was on a one-handed controller. I was on an Oculus Go, and I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm used to talking with my hands a lot. I was expressing myself with my hands, but all anybody saw on Altspace was my one hand going like this. So I couldn't wait for this thing so I could start, moving around and people could see, how animated I am when I talk, right? And while I was waiting for that Quest to arrive, I started reading up on it and everything. And when it did arrive, I took one look at the controls, right? And I was like, you know what? Those are a lot of buttons. And it is. It's a lot to take in. If you're new to VR, you're new to Altspace, it is a lot to get used to. But it only takes a few days to about a week or so to really get a handle on the controllers and get used to it. But I like to go over it so that we're all on the same page. And listen, when my Oculus Quest 2 arrived, I took a look at the buttons and I was like, you know what? That's mostly the same buttons. The only difference is you have on the Oculus Quest 2 controller, you have a thumb rest area, which does the same thing as it does on the original Quest. If you touch the thumbsticks, you touch the buttons, or you touch the thumb rest, you're going to find that in Altspace, your avatar's thumbs go down. All right, and you can actually use this to communicate in a variety of ways, which we're going to go over in just a moment. But also, you're going to see this bottom button here on both controllers, or right here, which is the Oculus Home button. That button is concave, and on the original Quest, it's flat. All right, and that's the only difference. So a lot of what we say to the Quest users apply to both Quest and Quest 2 users, both. All right, so this way we can all follow along that way. All right, and the first thing we're going to talk about is your grip button. All right, you got the grip button on both controllers. You've got one here and one here. Listen, if you're here today, I know you've got a handle on the basics, right? The left thumbstick's going to move you around like this. The right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles, and when you combine them, you get these big, elaborate circles that make my presentations more dramatic. And if you guys can do this with me, when I look out there, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let me see what you got, people. Let me see. Oh, that's very nice. Oh, you guys look fancy today. Oh, that's very good. I always say I wish you guys could see what this looks like, and now you can. If you look up there, we've got Ravenhall. That's our YouTube camera, and you'll see this episode go out in a few weeks. So, if you want to see yourself on YouTube, just stand on this rug area and wave out and be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got a lot of people in here. We got Sean Paul. We've got Godzilla. We've got Battery Bear. We've got Blue David. We've got Hummingbird. We've got Gen X Leeds. Well, we got a lot of people in here. We got Topic X78. All right, so you come on into Altspace. I think you're going to enjoy it. All right, now let's talk about this grip button here, right? Now you got it on the side of each controller, and this is how you're going to interact with your environment. It's going to be how you grab those bean bags in the campfire. It's going to be how you grab those bottle rockets in your home space, right? It's also if one of my backup dancers will toss me out some of these basketballs here, right? If you've never tried the grip button, now's your chance. I'm going to throw a few of these out there, all right? So you can just aim at these and squeeze your grip button and throw a few of them around there, all right? There you go. Now listen, if you're having a room scale experience, right, a lot of times you're going to find that as soon as you walk out past your main menu, that's about the time that somebody in Altspace is going to ask you to open your main menu. And you're going to look around, you're going to be like, I don't see it. And they're going to say, it's the blue and white triangle in your lower left. And they're going to look down there, they're going to say, I don't see it. I don't know where it is. All right. And it's like always behind you, right? Now that can get kind of annoying kind of quickly, right? It's important to remember that on an Oculus Quest and on an Oculus Quest 2, your main menu is in your hands at all times. All right. You're going to find that on your left controller, this bottom button, and on the Quest 2, it's concave, and on the Quest, it's flat. But that bottom button on your left controller is actually going to open up your main menu. I'm being told my voice is choppy. You guys think my voice is choppy? All right, is my voice choppy? Yeah? All right, where were the hands popping up? People, show me them hand emojis. You guys were supposed to help me out with that. All right, yeah, okay, now I see it. All right, I'll be right back, everybody. Hang on, I'm just going to clear that voice right out. You guys just stay put here for a minute.
Bruh. He died.
No, he didn't.
I feel like I'm 18. I feel like I'm being.
Oh, we can talk now?
Yay!
Oh, nice.
Talk now. I was gone, so it went off. All right, here we go. Very nice, very nice. I'm back now. Here we go. All right, so that bottom button on your left controller, right? What that's going to do is that's going to open and close your main menu, all right? And I like to combine that with like a little hand flick. So my menu's open. Now my menu's closed. Now it's open. Now it's closed. Listen, the hand flack, it doesn't make it work any differently, right? I just think it's fun to do. All right, so feel free to do that too if you like. All right, now another thing we're going to talk about here is on your controllers. Listen, when I first came in Altspace on my Quest, right, I wasn't used to having to worry about my vertical height, and that's something you have to worry about in here, right? When I came into the campfire, I noticed everybody was a lot shorter than me. And at first it was cool, but I was like, why am I so high up here, right? And it turns out that, you have to worry about that. Now, if somebody's willing to change their vertical height for me, by either lifting up or scooching down in the chair, anybody willing to do that? Anyway, oh, here we go. All right, now Battery Bear, show everybody what happens when you press down your left thumbstick. All right, press down on it like it's a button. All right, because it is. All right, don't just get back up slowly. You kind of use it to snap into place. All right, press down on that left thumbstick. All right, Sean Paul maybe willing to do it, or Air willing. So press down on that left thumbstick and snap into place. There you go. See how quickly he snapped? All right, and try it again. Press down on that left thumbstick, Ari. All right, try that. There you go. Boom, just like that. All right. So what happens is you'll find, right, that you can adjust your height in this way. Also, you can make small adjustments to your height in this way too, because if you look down when you do it, because this movement's attached to your head, right? So if you're looking down, and you press down on that left thumbstick, you're going to find, right, that your height it snaps into place. It makes you a little bit taller. If you look straight ahead when you do it, you're going to be the same height as everybody else. And if you look up when you do it and you press down on it, you're going to snap and be a little bit shorter than everybody else. This was a little bit easier to tell back when we had legs. All right, we don't have legs in Altspace anymore. But when you're talking to somebody else and you want to make yourself a little bit taller, you can do that just by looking down and pressing down on that left thumbstick. It's important to remember when your height changes like that. All right, now another thing we're going to show you guys is on your right controller next to your thumbstick there and the raised up teleport button. If everybody joins me up along this wall here, all right, everybody line up this way. And when we get into position over here, what I want you to do is press that teleport button down and hold it down. Don't let go and aim at the 4. You're going to see you've got your teleport target there if you're not familiar with that. And if you aim it across the room, as soon as you let go, boom, you get flung right across the room. Everybody teleport over to me while there's still time. You can make it. I believe in you. Now, what you can also do is press down on your left trigger button, and this is going to enable you to go faster, all right, whether you're walking or you're flying. All right, so give that a shot. Let's go very quickly around the room. Let's go into a big circle here. Let's make a hurricane or make a whirlpool. Maybe we can make, some kind of some kind of typhoon happening here. Let's see how you guys are doing. Let's check the shape. Oh, wow, you guys got good formation today. Very circular. That's very impressive. Oh, wow, it's one of the best, sharpest circles I've ever seen in here. Well, that's good. Anyone getting dizzy yet? If you're getting dizzy, raise your hand up. Let me see. Anyone getting dizzy? Nobody yet. Wow, okay, you guys are professional. Oh, we got one guy getting dizzy. All right, that's cool. All right, and if you're getting dizzy, you probably just want to stop that thing, all right? And we'll show you actually how to deal with some of that dizziness stuff in just a moment. Another thing you can do that you'll find from time to time in Altspace is, listen, while these are a lot of buttons, it's important to keep in mind that some of these buttons do the same thing. All right, and that makes it easier. You're going to find that your right trigger, your select button here, and if you have your left pointer enabled through your main menu, your select button here, they all do the same thing. If you hold down your right trigger button now and move it through the crowd, that's how I know everybody's names so quickly. You're going to see people's name tags just appear above their head, like, hey, there's Battery Bear, and there's, let's see, who else we have here? We have Endazel, we have Killmonger. Looks like he's taking a nap there. It looks like his hand is kind of stuck out there. Look at this, he's all frozen. Oh, that's sad. We lose more avatars that way. All right, now let's see, what else do we have? Now, also, there is a very important button, and don't press it now, because if you guys disappear, I'm going to feel it, right? Oh, actually, let me show you one more thing with the fast moving thing, right? If you guys face the stage, right, and hold down your left trigger button, and then go backwards, you're going to start going backwards quickly, but teleport at the floor, and you'll go into, like, the Altspace moonwalk, which I really hope is not a copyright infringement, because that would be bad, all right? And, it would be. All right, and when I first started messing around with this stuff and getting used to it, I was going to the Universe an awful lot, and when I was there, they used to hold it in this large world, and when the event was over, I went exploring to check out the world, and I walked up to the very edge of it, and what happened was I fell right off the edge of the world, and as I'm falling, I look over and there's this cliff, and I was able to teleport onto it before I respawned, because it's not like you can get hurt in Altspace, right? But what I found was, in that moment, I was getting used to the controls, and you will too. It only takes a few days to a week or so, but trust me, you're going to hit a point where you will always feel the plastic in your hands, but there's going to come a point in time where these become your hands, right? And you're not going to think about, like, if I tell everybody, hey, everyone, look out that window, I don't think about how I'm pointing, I just do it. Right, and you're going to get to that point too, where it's like a reflex. If you squeeze down your grip button, you're going to find that your hands go into this point gesture, right? And you can combine this in a variety of ways. You can give me a Brooklyn hello, right? Everybody give this how we do it back home. Be like, how you doing, everybody? How you doing? Go like that. Let me see it. All right, very nice. Now you can put them together like this, make a triangle, kind of make the Altspace logo, right? And then maybe put them up nice and high. Show me a little Altspace pride, everybody. Let me get them up nice and high there. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I love seeing that. Now, if you twist it around like this, right? You can get like kind of a picture frame going on there. How cool would it be to take screenshots like this? You just squeeze your trigger, right? Get a little shutter action, be like, snap, snap, you're a beautiful audience. Snap, snap, just like that, right? Maybe make a field goal with it like this, right? You can do that too. Now, if you squeeze your grip and your trigger button together, you can give me 2 thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job up here. Maybe I'm not. Be like, you know what? That re-entry thing was very unprofessional. 2 thumbs down. Maybe you haven't made up your mind yet, right? Maybe give me a little bit of both, like this action here, right? Occasionally people come to the stage and do this. I don't know what it means, so if you find out, let me know, right? Maybe go like this, make a W. That's pretty cool. And listen, what I'm getting at here is when you see somebody make a gesture that you like one of the first quest times we ever had, somebody came up to the stage and they started going like this, right? And I liked it, so I did it back. And then the whole audience started doing it, and the whole room was going like this, and it was cool. They were just going like this, and it was flying around like that, and I thought it was cool. So when you see somebody doing a gesture that you like, you just mirror them, and you make it your own. And after a while, these gestures, they're going to become second nature, and you won't think anymore about the controls themselves. You'll just do it. Because let me tell you something about immersion and being present. If you're thinking about your headset and you're thinking about your controls, you're not doing it right. All right, the whole idea here is that we feel like we're in this space together, so that when you leave here tonight, you feel like we've had an experience together. right? Where you feel like you've been somewhere. You take your headset off and you're like, oh, wow, I'm home now. How'd that happen, right? All right, now another thing you need to be, oh, I got to get my slides back out here because I re-entered there. Okay, cool. Another button you need to be aware of, and don't press this now because if you disappear, I'm going to feel it. But on your bottom of your right controller, you have this button, and it says Oculus Home, but I prefer to think of this as like an eject button. All right, you're going to press this. Listen, there are normal conditions, like this is the best way to leave Altspace. If somebody comes in to your space and says, hey, dinner's ready, you'll be like, oh, gotta go. And you press that bottom button, right? Then this window comes up and asks you if you want to quit or resume. Now, this is great if you press it by accident, like, you're dancing around the universe, right? And you get a little bit too into it, and all of a sudden you press that button, and you're like, uh-oh, you just hit resume, and you'll be back, and no one will even know you were gone. All right, and this way, Yuji won't destroy you with her awesome admin powers. But sometimes you will want to leave, right? But this is also a button that you're going to want to press when things go horribly wrong, right? You're going to want to press this, like, for example, if I look out the window right now and I turn back to look at the audience, so the whole world moves with me. When that happens, it can make you feel kind of sick. Right, so you're going to want to know how to get out of here in a hurry, right? So you press on that eject button, you press quit, and then you restart the app. And honestly, this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have in Altspace, right? But occasionally, something more serious might be going on, right? Like, for example, I may look out that window again and notice that there's these black edges along the edge of my screen, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's the black void, it's back. And I look over to the right side, and it's there, and it's on top, it's on the bottom, and all of the audience is frozen all dramatically in space, just like this. And give me your best, frozen in space pose like this, right? Just pose it on up like that, right? And what can happen then, right, is what you find is you're going to need a way to get out of Altspace in a hurry. So what you do, you press that eject button and nothing happens. And you're like, Michael Forrest, you lied to me. How could you? I will have my revenge. But that's not what's going on here. All right. What's going on here is your headset froze up, and that doesn't just happen in Altspace. This happens in other apps as well. And you're going to need to restart your headset. Now, when I first got my Quest, I would take my headset off to restart it. But I found if it wasn't in a charge cycle and it wasn't lighting up, it would take so long to restart, especially if you're in a rush, that, well, I would get to think there was something wrong with my device. Right. So I got in the habit, and I think you should too, of when you need to restart your headset, be able to do it while it's still on your head. All right, and the best way to do this is take your index finger, right, and swipe it up and down the right side of your device until you feel that raised up power button. And when you do, take the index finger of your other hand and kind of squeeze it together. This way your headset doesn't go all over your face. And I find it helps to look down like you're in a deep concentration pose. And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard your avatar just disappears and you get plunged into darkness, but you hang on. You don't let go. You just hang in there. You ride it out. After about 10 seconds, you start wondering, man, why did Oculus make it take so long? 15 seconds go by, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while. You wonder how they're doing. 20 seconds go by, you start thinking about the big questions. You start thinking about life. You start thinking things like that. Then all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo emerges like the bat signal, right? And when it starts to pulse, just move your hands away like this and your device will start normally. And honestly, this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to have in here. But every so often, something more serious might creep up on you. Like, for example, last week I had an issue where I come in to do my event, and I'm getting ready, and every time I, come in at less than 2 minutes, the app suddenly just closed. And I tried everything. I tried reinstalling it, and every time I came in, the app would just close again. And the only thing that could fix it was a factory reset. Now, it pays to know that with a factory reset, that you can lose all of the pictures that you have saved on your device. You're going to have to re-download all of your apps. You're going to lose all of your preferences. You may even lose your Beat Saber scores. Okay, so this is serious business, right? So only use it in an emergency, but it pays to know that it's there, that you can put the headset back the way it was the day you got it and start all over. And this is going to, this can solve the more serious issues. All right, now, if you're here today, listen, you already messed around with the Guardian system, right? Because you've done the tour, you danced with the robot, you played with the blimp. That's a lot of fun. But what you may not know is how to use the Guardian system to your advantage in Altspace. And the way you do this is I like to tell people, listen, when you mess with your Guardian system, right, be very careful, because a lot of times in Altspace, you'll be somebody see them walking along, they're having a good day, everything's going right. All of a sudden, bam, they hit a real world wall. Right? Those real world walls are a menace and they need to be stopped. They're also hard to say, apparently. But what you can do, right, is, if you're new to VR especially, lead with your hands. When you're walking around your space, lead with your hands, right? And when you get close to the edge, you're going to get the grid that appears. Right? But when that grid appears, keep this in mind, right? That what you can do, and listen, no matter what device you're on, if you experience dizziness in VR, one quick trick you can do is just take a good look at your hand. Even though that's not your real hand, right? Just take a look at your hand until the dizziness passes. And when it does, slowly take your hand away and take in the world around you, and that can really help. But your Guardian system can help with this too. right? And the way it works is if you go up to the edge of your space, you're going to see that grid appear in the air in front of you, right? And then you make sure you got enough room for, your head to pass through there, right? You got the real pass-through camera, or maybe you got this, experimental features turned on where you do that double tap and you can see the real world. But for this, what you do is you go up to the edge, right? You got that grid, and if you are holding your hands up to that grid, you could still move your thumbsticks. You can move your avatar around while you're standing still in the real world. So if I walk up to my real world wall right now and there's the grid, what I can do is I can hold onto it and move my thumbsticks around, so I'm still seeing the grid while my avatar moves around. And what I could do is I can line this grid up with this big display here and make what I like to think of as a reality anchor. This is going to make me feel connected to the real world. So if I look back and I'm like, oh, my wall's right there. Oh, good. I'm not dizzy anymore. And then I back up and, oh, no, I'm off the stage. I'm in the audience. And let's say you guys are in a nice crowd. All right. Why don't you guys mess with me? Stick your hands in my face, spin around me, try to make me as dizzy as you can. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at that display and I'm going to keep on talking. And you see if you guys can mess me up. See if you can make me stutter, lose my place, forget where I am. But you really can't, because as long as I can see that display, I mean, you guys are doing a pretty good job. Wow, you guys are a good crowd, but I can still see that display. And as long as I can see that display, I'm fine. Another thing you can do is you'll see the edge of the stage here. Maybe you can line this up with a real world table or a real world desk, and that's going to make you feel connected to the real world and more stable and less dizzy. And that can help you get used to VR in a hurry. All right. So that's a little trick that can help you out. Another thing that you can do is you can transition between a room scale and a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. So let's say you're in here and like, all those moving stuff is fun. I want to get up and move around. You can do that. And what you do is if you go up to the edge of your Guardian system, or let's say that, this is like I'm going up on 500 events this month and I'm tired. I need to sit down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge of my space, right? And I see that grid appear, right? And I make sure I got enough room for my head to go through, right? Or I use that experimental feature, the double tap, and I go tap, tap, and I can see the real world. Oh, I got my coffee cup right there. I take a sip of that. I throw it down, and I'm going to have to clean that up later. I got to stop doing that. And I see I got my chair right over there, right? So what I can do is I can walk on over into my chair, and as soon as I sit down in that chair, right, I press the blue button saying I want to have a stationary experience, right? And I find when I do, the grid comes up, and not only am I still in Altspace, but I'm still in VR. I never left. And you know what? This works in the other direction, too. One time I was moderating an event and I felt like getting up and walking around, right? So I got up and I thought I'd just step right into my Guardian. But you know what? The Quest can lose where your Guardian is from time to time due to changing light levels, or for one reason or another can't resolve where it is. And it wants you to just draw a new boundary because, hey, that's no big deal, right? But when it's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I scramble and I start drawing it out and I start to wonder, why is my space so big? And of all the times I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? And then finally, when I close the loop, the grid comes back up out of the ground and I find that I'm still in VR. I'm still in Altspace. I never left. So you can go back and forth as you like to be comfortable. So if you're in an event and you get psyched up and you want to move around, well, you can. Just be careful. If you feel like, oh, I'm tired, man. I've been dancing all night in here and I'm just exhausted, but I don't want to log out. You can hang a little bit longer. Just sit down, by going into a stationary thing. The only thing you have to worry about is your height's going to change. When you sit down, your avatar is going to go down with you. Right. But remember, if you press down that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is, you're just going to pop right back up. All right, everybody. Now, listen, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. All right. That doesn't mean it can't work better. There's a lot of accessories that can really improve the experience. But for the Quest 2, these accessories are a lot more like necessities. Right. Because there's a lot of people that think the strap on the Quest 2 is very uncomfortable. Right. I'm one of them. I happen to think the Elite strap is great, but I've been hearing that a lot of people have having them break and they actually stop shipping them because of this, right? So we're researching accessories to recommend. If you are on an original Quest and you'd like to try any of the ones that we suggest, what you can do is you go to altvr.com. In the upper left, you're going to see where it says channels. And if you click on that, you're going to see all these wonderful Altspace event teams that are listed out. And you're going to see Ravenhall events down toward the bottom. Not that means anything. They tell me it doesn't mean anything. And you press on that and you're going to see, our event page there. And you're going to see all the products we recommended on the left-hand side. We're going to have some Quest 2 products going up there soon as we feel comfortable recommending them. We like to try them first. And down toward the bottom, you'll see a Join Discord button if you'd like to say hello, if you have any questions. Also, you'll see the most important button on the internet. It's true. That's where they keep it, the subscribe button. And it lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. It also makes us feel good. We don't get paid to do this, so every time we see that number go up, it makes us feel really good. Makes us feel even better when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching out there on YouTube, you'll find links to a lot of this stuff in the description below. below. All right, now listen, we're going to be taking your questions and your comments now, and hopefully, if you guys have tried some of the accessories for the Quest 2, we want to hear about that also. Let's see here. We got the, and you're going to see the way we're going to do this is you're going to see in the lower right the raise hand button appear as if by magic. It's true. That's what magic looks like in VR. And when you press that raise hand button, it's going to turn blue. It'll get you on my list, and I'm calling you, and I'll get to feel like a radio host. All right, let's see. We've got Hummingbird. Hummingbird, you're on the air. What's up, Hummingbird?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. We all can hear you.
Can
What's
you
up?
explain what that double tap is you were talking about?
The double tap. Yeah. What you do is from your Oculus home screen, you're going to notice that there's a cogwheel in the lower right, and you press on that cogwheel, you're going to see all the settings, right? Now, under experimental features, you're going to find the double tap pass through. Right? Pass through shortcut. And what that does is it lets the real world camera that you see when you look out past your Guardian, it's a way to open it up easily. So you'll just go tap, tap and be able to see the so-called real world if you believe in that kind of thing. And then you go tap, tap again, and then you'll be back in VR. It's a nice way to switch back and forth without having to just go outside your Guardian boundary there. All right. Good question, though. We also have UPS-man or UPS man. You're on the air. What's going on? Where are you?
Right here, man. I have a
How's it
question.
going?
So I noticed when I point to people, they have two names, one at the top and one at the bottom. Is one their Altspace name and one their Oculus name?
No, actually, it's a good question, and I can see why you would think that. All right, so when you look at somebody like right now, your name is both on top and bottom is the same UPS man. One
Right,
is the
but other people have different.
One is a username, and one's a display name, right? So, for example, my name is Michael, but Michael's a fairly common name. So in Altspace, there may be like 50 of us, right? And maybe we're going to take over the campfire, right? Maybe not, I don't know. But that'll be our display name. But our username is a unique name that's only like mine is Ravenhall Lab. You'll see it if I come up the stage. You point at my name tag here, right? You'll see it says Ravenhall Labs. So this name is what we can use when we have events. This is how we assign roles. Like, for example, I'm a presenter right now in this event, but I'm also a moderator. I'm also a terraformer. I'm also a pilot. I can fly in here, man. I got powers. And that's how it's given to you. It uses your username just like that, right? So a username is a way to address you specifically, and a display name, it could be whatever you want, what you want people to call you. All right, because maybe your username is Michael11115, and I don't want everyone to call me Michael11115. I just want them to call me Michael Forrest, right? So that's why my display name is Michael Forrest, right? There you go. All right, everybody. Let's see. I got time for one more, and it looks like we got Sean Paul. Sean Paul, you're on the air. What's going on, Sean? Where are you?
I've actually had the Oculus Quest 1 and 2.
Oh, you have them both.
I've
Cool.
recently upgraded. Yeah.
Mhm.
And on the Oculus Quest, I actually had, I thought, it's foamy on the outside. I think I've got to upgrade it. So I tried many different leather or silicone.
Have you tried
types
VR
of
cover?
headbutts? Yes.
VR cover, the
Now,
cloth one? That thing's
I've
incredible. It's like your face is at a pillow. It's awesome. And they give you two of them, so you can watch one while the other's in use. It's great.
I tried one called, I think it was the Kiwi one, where it has the breather.
Yes.
And that one, it made the vision actually better as well. The glare
very cool.
that you get on the Quest 1, it actually gets rid of it on there. And also the
That's wonderful.
The handles, where it's got the grips over your knuckles. I've also known that those are way better because they don't let your what's it called? Your grips fly around,
Nice.
ping around.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, very cool. Very nice. That's awesome. And again, if you guys want to try into that, check out, it's good to explore and see what people are saying about the accessories, right? Let's see, I got a hand up over here, Killmonger. Killmonger, you're gonna have to press that raise hand button in the little right from you see on the list. We are going a little bit over on time, but I am seeing a lot of questions here, so let's try to take a couple more if we can. Let's see, we've also got Chasek on the list here. Let's try you. Chasek, you're on the air. What's up?
Awesome.
like a radio host when I
I
do
just
this.
like to mention real quick. I'm not sure if you mentioned this. I joined quite late.
Okay.
But don't freak out if your controller goes like everywhere. Sometimes if it goes out of the view of the headset, because it only has 4 cameras, if it goes out of the view of the headset, it'll lose track of it, and so it may go in weird places.
You know what my favorite is when it loses tracking? You guys must have had this happen to you already. You ever standing there, you're talking to somebody, and all of a sudden your hand starts spinning around in a circle, like really slow like this. Sometimes it's cool to take your other hand and be like, look at me, spin my hand just like that, right? And that can happen. But the best way to resolve that when it happens, just grab your controller, right? And as soon as you move it and look at it, you're going to see it snaps right into place, and that can help with that. But yeah, they can lose tracking, and the best way to deal with that is just by looking at them. All right, are being waved at, Crazy Cody. Crazy Cody, you're on the air. You got a question or a comment? Let's see, you're on the air right now. What's up?
I got a question, but
What's that?
where is the best? Like, you can only download Oculus apps, right?
Well, there's a few options that you have, right? Mainly, you are going to download the majority of your apps through the Oculus Store. But when you use the Oculus Link cable, you can use Steam to get things through your computer. You could also use a great app that's been invented by somebody in Altspace. Actually, you'll see them in a campfire a lot. Shane Harris, rather, and he made an app called SideQuest. All right, and SideQuest has a variety of different apps that you can sideload onto your Quest, and there's instructions on there how to do it. So you're not limited by the Oculus Store alone.
Well,
actually,
then,
if you
like,
have that cable.
how do you, like, if you in Oculus, how do you get? Is there more adult themed apps somewhere?
Well, I mean, really, if you look around, SideQuest, I'm sure you'll find something, that'll suit your needs. You'll also probably find a variety of things in the Steam store as well. As many,
What is
apps as there are app
SideQuest?
developers. SideQuest is an app that allows you to put apps on your headset directly and not use the Oculus Store to do it. You could also use the Oculus Link cable to go through the Steam app. It is a little bit, to get used to it, but once you do, you'll have 3 different stores to shop in. So I'm sure you'll find something that suits your needs. All right, let's see here. We also have time for one more. We got Killmonger. Killmonger, you're on the air. What's up? What's going on, Killmonger?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you nice and clear. What's going on?
Hold on. For some reason, I can't hear you.
Okay. You may need to re-enter the space. And if you can't hear me, well, then that's going to be a problem. All right. Can everybody else hear me? Put your hands up if you can hear me. All right. So just you. Oh, you can hear me now? You can hear me now, Killmonger? Okay, cool. Well, let's get you back on the air here really quick. You had a question? How about now? Let's see. You muted yourself again. All right. We'll try this one last time here. All right, Killmonger. Go for it. This is your moment.
Okay, can you hear me for
I can hear you nice and clear. We all can.
Thank you, sir.
No, you're welcome.
Okay, I upgraded for something a little bit far deeper in the time. I upgraded from a Samsung Gear.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, is there anything that the Gear can still do? What I wanted to do was kind of pass that along to my son, but I think is a paperweight now. Is there anything?
I wanted to ask that. I forgot who it was who said, I think it was Sean Paul, who said he had the Quest and the Quest 2. I want to ask what he was planning to do with his original Quest, because I find if you give away your old devices, it's a great way to get other people in the VR and really, get more people involved in this whole thing. That's what I've done.
Yes.
When I had my Go, as soon as I got my original Quest, I gave it to my mom. And she came into Altspace, right? And then when I got my Quest 2, I gave my original Quest to my mom because she wanted 2 hands, right? And then she's looking for a play. But unfortunately, the longevity of these devices isn't too long. I mean, in a culture that we live in where we're getting new cell phones every year and all this kind of thing, it's kind of hard to make it last, especially when they're updating all the all the software that goes with it. It's harder for these old devices to keep up. And unfortunately, that's the way the market is right now. Is that they are coming out with new devices and they're, oh, look, see, somebody's lost the tracking and he's pointing it out. Battery bay showing you the whole thing. And now if he looks at his hand and he actually touches the controller, it'll wake it up and his hand will snap back into place. Show us what that looks like. Boom. Just like that. Very cool. All right, now everybody, what's going to happen now is I'm going to press this button here on this wall. And when I do, a Ravenhall talent hovercraft is going to fly down the street and it's going to go up over those trees and land in that backyard area. And then we can all go out to the Ravenhall Flight Academy to show you guys how to fly. But before we do, listen, at 7 o'clock Eastern, we have another event coming up called It's Time to Move. So you can come check us out. You'll find us under the events tab in your main menu. So come check us out and see us. And we're going to press this button right now. Oh, I lost the button push when I re-entered. Morgan, you want to help me out and push this button for me?
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
There it goes. Now, you can actually fly the ship if you like, and we can do that by going out and meeting it and going to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. So let's head on out. Everybody go through those doors there and, out in the backyard area. And if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with, because that's how we keep this thing going. All right, here it comes. Now, it's going to get kind of low, but it hasn't hit anybody yet that we're willing to admit to. All right, so let's see here. All right, here we go.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
Very nice, everybody. You've been a great audience, and I'll see you next time.